introduce Spencer Organ, who is Python in Schools, not just for computer science lessons. He will take some questions, but at the end of the slot.
I will. And I am a normal science teacher. So I'm a physics teacher, chemistry teacher, and I'm from Birmingham. And I'm going to take you on my journey from 6 years ago to standing here today, being part of the kind of Python community. I've got the A in STEAM, so we've got science, technology, engineering, arts, because I also manage my school theatre as well as being a physics teacher. So there's quite a lot of crossover into the arts for me. This is my classroom, and it's probably not a typical physics classroom if you think about it in secondary school, because as well as getting my multimeters, my diodes, my components, I've also got a whole bunch of Raspberry Pis all around as the classroom, and a lot of part of chemistry workbooks there. So really kind of what I want to go through today is how to support a school where there are no computer science teachers. We want to get computer science into a school, and there literally are no computer science teachers. So, are any computer science teachers here? Excellent. Any other teachers from any other kind of subjects? Hello! Excellent. What do you teach?
Science.
Hey, come to the front, come on! You're my target audience. No, stay there, I don't want to embarrass you. And actually, I want to kind of really, Python community in large, parents, school governors. Excellent, excellent. Educators in any other context? Brilliant. Okay, so this is me, and yes, I have got a Raspberry Pi kind of biased, but platform is not important, it's actually more the language. And I am at Maybe Covered, I run a blog, I like to build things, I make stuff. That's kind of my passion. And this started for me 5 or 6 years ago. Now, I've been teaching 22 years. I don't look it, I know, but I've been teaching a long, long time, teaching science. And I'm passionate about getting my learners really equipped for the future. And I worked up to head of department level, I got to assistant head level, I got to that kind of, back to deputy head level, then we became an academy. And they brought their new people in, and they said, well, you can keep your level, your salary, but you're kind of back to the main scale, main teacher again. So I had like a huge amount of time to fill. So along came programming, computer science, I thought, I know how to fill it, I know what I'm going to do. So my journey started 6 years ago with my son, Philip, who wanted to use Scratch when he was in year 3. And the teacher said to him, you can't use Scratch in year 3 until you get to year 6, you're not old enough. Daddy, I want to use Scratch, I really want to make some little games. School won't let me do it. And they literally said, no, you're too young to use Scratch, you can't use it to get to year 6. And I'm not going to let you use my MacBook because it's precious. So I said, I'll tell you what, I've heard about this Raspberry Pi thing. I'll order you one, I'll buy you one. If you break it, it's £35, I can cope. And that got us on a journey from, I want to make a little game of Scratch, to, this was when he was in year 7, he's in year 9 now. You got a Pokédex for Pokemon, where you would type the numbers in, it would take a photo, it would overlay, transparent. It's fantastic. All his own work, even designed the case himself. I'm dead chuffed with that. But actually, Philip was my driving force behind actually my own personal journey. It was about the time I got my first Pi that we suddenly went to kind of these events where they had components and resistors and LEDs. And as a science teacher, yeah, I'm used to LEDs, we have them in circuits with crocodile clips, and we know about how the current flows through them. But I never make them light up in the class, I just connect them to a multimeter. A bit boring. And I realised, I discovered that you could write some code that made LEDs flash. They were blinky. It was awesome. I'm not showing you back that soldering because it is appalling. Absolutely appalling. In fact, that's my Apple TV remote control holding up there. But I got the digital making bug. It got me really, really, really good. And my son loved it as well. Daddy, we can make things that flash and light. We can do, it's amazing. So I went back to school and I bought my one little Pi, went back to school, and I started Pi Club. And Pi Club was every Friday. And some students would come along, and we'd have a bit of programming, we'd do a bit of Minecraft, we'd eat some biscuits, we also had biscuits, and it was relatively quite nice. So I said to my head, look, is there any chance I can have some money? I don't ask for much in life, can I have some money? I want to buy 10 Raspberry Pis. They went, well, go and see the catering stuff. I thought he was joking, he wasn't. It's like, okay, so John, a Raspberry Pi is a little computer, it's about that sort of size. Watch a video, there's this young kids made this lovely video for the Raspberry Pi Foundation, which in their 8th set, it's really awesome. It was really good. And it was a great little video, and he got really inspired. And he said, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll let you buy 10 Magic Pies. I bought 10 kits from CPC, and that was my budget for the year. Gone. Yeah, that's always an issue. We'll come back to budget later. So I set up my science labs were perfect for computers, because you've got power sockets everywhere, and desks. So I managed to get from, when our school's been rebuilt, managed to get some monitors, 10 monitors, managed to get them working again, got my cheap keyboard and mice, set it up, beautiful. And I hit a really, really huge problem. I wanted to be a content creator rather than a content consumer. My children wanted to do stuff, they wanted to program. My coding skills was 10, print, hello, go to 10. That was my thing from when I was BBC Basic as a kid. So I thought, what do? Okay, I'm going to go out and buy Python for kids. Now, any kid who knows me at school knows I don't learn from reading, I don't learn from written, I'm a doer. Most of my teaching style is doing. We do lots of practical lessons in science. They love it, apparently. And I don't learn from reading. I really, really, really don't. I learn from doing. So actually, Python for Kids or Python for Dummies or Getting Started with Python or this kind of book just didn't engage me. I need to learn the syntax. I need to learn these different bits. Actually, it didn't work for me. But what did work for me was this awesome book. Because I could sit down with Philip and we could do some things from Martin and David's book on adventures in Minecraft. And if you see the tagline for it, learn valuable programming skills while building your own Minecraft adventure. I learned valuable programming skills. My son did with me. We did it together. We sat there at Christmas and New Year, sat there building stuff. My wife said, can you get off the TV? Do you want to watch a film? I'm like, no, I need the TV. It's got HDMI on it. I need it for the pie. Yeah, that was our constant friction at home. But actually, I admit, I did learn stuff. And all the stuff I'd learned as a kid with my BBC Basic on my Acorn Electron came flooding back. Proudest moment of my life is when Martin comes to school, he comes to my classroom, does a little Minecraft workshop. My kids love that. But anyone knows who's a teacher, you know that you actually learn by teaching. My degree's in chemistry and education, but I teach 95% physics. I don't teach the B word. I don't teach biology, because I've not got enough green felt tip pens in my classroom. And I hope it's not being recorded. But I can teach biology up to GCSE, but I would prefer not to. And when I started teaching 22 years ago, I hadn't even done GCSE biology. I'm teaching a class. I'm learning it the night before, a cell, cytoplasm. Okay, got it, right. And actually, I learnt by producing worksheets for a club, by producing learning activities, I learnt so much Python in such a short amount of time that I could really, really, really actually explain it back to the children quite well. And I decided to write my own little Apple iBook, which was called 10 Engaging Python Projects. Number 1 LED flashing. Number 2, 3 LEDs, an LED in a button, random things. It was quite cool. It got downloaded quite a few times actually, like more than 1,000. So I was quite pleased with that for a free book. But by writing the little book, by writing resources, it really got me kind of understanding what I was doing. And I went out and I found every bit of free CPD that was going out there, okay? So, Certified Educator, through High Academy, Raspberry Jams. Yes, it's a lovely day to take your son on a Saturday, but actually, it's also free CPDs. It's really, really cool. The person who taught me LEDs and how to make LEDs come off is sat in the room over there. There it is. So, Les did my very first workshop with LEDs. Les taught it in Cambridge. I loved it, never forgot it. That was really cool. So I went out and saw every bit of free CPD I could get my hands on, because the school budget for CPD was very little, and so I had to find it myself. But that still didn't really engage me, because I was having fun at home with my son, I was quite enjoying it, I was going to these events, but I got the bug for making. I mean, we're jumping forward like 5-6 years now, but the way I essentially got to where I was, or where I am now, is I want to make stuff. And because I saw you could make this amazing stuff with Python. So I've got my time-lapse motion tracking camera, so I could catch the sunset and sunrise. My little name badge that takes text and puts it into a nicely formatted badge. My son desperately wanted a countdown advent calendar for Christmas with his own photos behind it. And my Twitter-enabled snow globe. When you tweet different tags, it makes the lights change. So I came up with a model, and I'm really proud of this, because this model might sound familiar. Identify projects. Start with an idea. Okay, I want a Twitter-enabled snow globe. Okay, be very clear what I want to do. So I want, when you tweet the word, my Twitter handle and the word Christmas, the lights do this. When you tweet the word party, the lights do this. I want different things to happen. Okay, I need to break down my project into steps. First step is accept that step links onto that step links onto that step, that thing needs to happen there. Okay, I need some code to make these steps happen, and I need to write the code. I'd never heard of abstraction before. I'd never heard of algorithms, I'd never heard of flow like what I had, but I never thought about it. What I realised over 6 years was I taught myself quite a bit of levels of programming and how to design a program and how to implement it. I never knew that, I kind of happened by accident. So this is my school. We are in a £26 million new building. It's beautiful. 2.2 million spent on the IT infrastructure. Mac suites, laptop trolleys, computer rooms, 3D projector in the theatre with glasses. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. IT teachers in the school? 0. Computer science teachers in the school? Well, we've got no IT teachers, we've got no computer science teachers. We've got technicians. I've got some really, really keen kids who want to do stuff. Kids who are desperate to do some programming, desperate to do these activities. So I was finding that I had this hobby, I was a hobbyist, I was making stuff. And I was really enjoying it. I was making this kind of fun stuff, tweeting about it, talking about it, making it. But that wasn't helping me at school, that wasn't helping my kids. Until that final day where I go, hang on a minute, if I've taught myself to program in Python, if I can now make something that interacts with the Twitter API and all this kind of stuff, and I'm pretty decent at it, why can I not combine these two skills and actually take my science classroom and start doing some more of the programming and physical computing? And so I said to the head, look, no one's teaching computer science, no one's teaching IT. Can I teach it? Yes, but not from at GCSE. Okay, that's fine. So Key Stage 3, we get 1 hour a fortnight. Taught by me, a PE teacher. He's been through Perk Academy. So he's got A-level computer science. So we mustn't judge a PE teacher on the label. I did that deliberately, see what the reaction was. And 4 business studies teachers. So out of the 5 of us, I'm probably the only one doing any programming. Worst case, they're doing the internet and PowerPoint. Best case, they're doing some spreadsheet work, they're doing some work on presentation skills. But think of that whole Key Stage 3 curriculum that is compulsory, it's not happening. It really, really, really isn't happening. So I came up with my own little curriculum for my 1 hour fortnight for my 3 classes of what I could deliver. And that was impacting some of the kids. There was some impact, but it wasn't enough. Because actually, it's only me, I'm a single lone voice in the school trying to inspire all these kids into programming. I can't do it, I'm just one person. Even though I am enthusiastic, I love it, and it's awesome. So I thought, okay, I need to get on board. Where's she gone? The other science teachers. So along came the Sense Hat. So I thought, okay, what can we do with the Sense Hat? Oh, we can make measurements, we can time stuff, we can do temperature. Let's design some experiments where I can do the classic old rates of reaction that goes cloudy and smells of rotten eggs, but with a Raspberry Pi to record the results. But if I'm going to have another science teacher do the experiment in their classroom, I can't just give it to them working, because that doesn't benefit them, does it? No. They need to learn how the program works, and how to modify it, and how to change it. That needs some CPD. I don't have time for that. There's lunch break, there's after school, let's come to my classroom over a coffee, let's look at this bit of code together, let's work on it. Let's work with the technicians on it. Another one, we all do these experiments where we see which colour surfaces heat up the quickest, black or silver, table lamp, Raspberry Pi, Sense Hat. So most of the classes now in year 9, so GCSE physics, will do this experiment with a Sense Hat, and they will record some data. They will then use the code to look at how to change intervals of time, etc. This is a classic GCSE experiment on rates of radioactive decay, where you have little cubes, you shake them, take all the ones that have the surface pointing up, and I basically I was quite pleased with this actually. I wanted to do a quick model of it, so I wrote the code in front of the class during the lesson while they were doing an exercise from the book. And they're like, "Sir, how on earth did you know how to do that?" I said, "Well, I thought about it. This is my first step. This is my second step. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. Like, why aren't we doing this in school?" The kids like genuinely like, "Why don't we do this?" Okay, tell you what. Let's get the Raspberries out. Let's get the keyboards out. Let's get the mice out. Let's type it in together. And let's see what happens if you change the number of cubes at the start. Let's change the code. We're suddenly on a computer science lesson, which was a physics lesson, which had more impact on the kids than I would ever imagined. Another colleague says, "I've got a very nice group, but they are quite challenging their behaviour, and I'm trying to really teach them electrical symbols. Can you make a game for me that flashes up the name of the component, you have to press a button, and make a big film conductive paint, show the memory stuff, we sit down together and we look at how we can adapt that code." Quite enjoyed that was quite fun. And because any space can be turned into a computer room, this is one of our computer suites at school. Put the computers to one side, get some monitors out, get some pies out, and we've got the impromptu CPD. So I went from no knowledge, zero skill, to working with the teachers, and it got really infectious. It got really kind of keen. But I wanted to share this message. And there was very little CPD in Birmingham. There was CAS kind of stuff, but no, I won't go there. I had the wrong degree, and they didn't really want to talk to me about my background. So I found some other like-minded people, other science teachers, other primary school teachers, other teachers from other schools, who really wanted to do this, but couldn't find a course. So we started coffee, cake and coding at school, in that order. And we ran it once, a few people came. Ran it again, a few more people came, the cake was getting better, my wife was really on board with the coffee, I was making the cake, and it was looking really good. And actually, we then started people coming from London to Birmingham to come to coffee, cake and coding. Like, hang on a minute, 6 years ago I didn't know any Python at all, I didn't know any computer science. I've now got people coming to my CPD, where I'm looking at physical computing, LEDs, kind of that side of stuff, like, how's that happened? But community is really important. All the sides of it just now, these different events, there's loads of community out there. If it wasn't for the community of people in this room and other people at this event and people wider field, I would never have got off the ground. If people hadn't said, "Look, help you with this, help you with that, have you thought about this?" And it's really made a big difference. This space here is Birmingham Airport. We've got a whole area at Birmingham Airport. They run an academy there, we run quite a few programme events at the airport. So families come to Birmingham Airport and our space overlooks the runway. It's awesome. Although, top tip from me, never, ever, ever walk into the airport with a project with cables coming out and GPIO leads, and you kind of get, yeah, let's not go there. Right. My poor son was terrified when they came up to us. 5 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. The best bit of the airport is, that's the building we work in, Hello World. Love that so much. But around the school, other teachers seem, hang on a minute, what you're doing is quite cool. Is there any chance at all you can make me a time-lapse camera for art? Yes, but let's do it together. Let's look at the code. Is there any chance you can do some LEDs for drama, for production? Tin Man Heart for Wizard of Oz. The little NeoPixel display. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So simple, yet so beautiful. Other science teachers wanting to do things in lessons with my experiments. But rather than just saying, here it is, actually, where's the code behind it? This is a science technicians conference, where part of their conference day at school, I did 2 or 3 workshops on physical computing. They went back to their school. PE, our PT we talked about just now, he wanted to build a BATAC board, but he couldn't afford it, they were really expensive. A Pi, some buttons, some LEDs. We can do it. So I really, really, truly believe that if somebody like me, who 6 years ago had never touched a computer apart from when I was writing essays at university, who could then put a kit in a car to all sorts of schools to run workshops, programming workshops, where there wasn't the teachers, to do it at their own school, I do really, really believe that this is such a huge platform, such a huge potential possibility that we can do it. That's me. That's me at a Radical event back in the summer, back in July. And it's transformed my teaching. It's transformed my learning of my students. It's filled a gap in my school where there are no computer science teachers. There are no educators who can actually do this in school apart from me. And if it wasn't for me, and the people that I'm now spawning out across. So my Python tentacles extend around the school into different departments. Does snakes have tentacles? I'm not a biology teacher, right? So, but these little seeds that I've sown with the kids, they now go to other science teachers. Hey, Mr. Robin in physics did this. Why can't we do this in biology? We made choice chambers with a Pi camera. We used these sensats to change colours. We saw which colours the woodlice liked, all because of one of the projects. So I think what I'm trying to say is, as I rambled on for half an hour, is this, there's such a 54% of schools that don't offer GCSE, is it 54? Yeah. 54. We don't even offer it in year 9. We offer 1 hour in year 8 and 1 hour for in year 7. I'm sad about that, it breaks my heart as someone who's passionate about it. But if we can take these tools as parents, as co-club volunteers, as governors, as science teachers, as PE teachers, and say, look, this isn't difficult, we can go in and help. I'm not covering the computer science curriculum, I know I'm not. So I get 1 hour a fortnight to do something with 14 I don't even teach in the computer room, I have 14 Raspberry Pis in my science lab. But I'm giving these students more opportunity they would have if we didn't do it. So I would go back and say to schools, you know, if there isn't the teachers, if there isn't the staff to do it, that it is possible, that you can do it, that there is CPD out there, there's a massive community out there, and there are people who really want to help schools do it, because we exist. We just need to go and let the schools know that we exist. Thank you.
Questions?
A quick one. A few years ago you went to your head and you said, hey, can I offer the computer science? What would happen if you went to your head now?
I've been to my head several times, and unfortunately he'll say, we are short of physics teachers. Yes, you can carry on doing what you're doing. Yes, you can carry on training other teachers. Yes, you can do this, but you need to be in physics, teaching physics. Because actually,
that's you though, what about
the school?
Yeah.
We are heavily loading our staffing in EPAC subjects. I'm trying to put that as tactfully as I possibly can.
Computer science is not an impact subject.
At the back, sorry.
Do you think that this motivation issue is a reason for reassessing the whole idea of computer science in Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3, and in effect get rid of it and put stuff into science, technology, and the STEM subjects in order to get people doing it before then coming to a more formal curriculum?
Well, I see what my two sons, I've got one in year 6 and one in year 9. Yes, they've got a geeky dad, I get that. But actually, when I see what my primary schools are doing, they're doing some really, really great stuff. They then come to me and go, there's nothing against secondary school. I think you need a blended approach. I am Mr. Cross-Curricular. I teach science, I teach computer science. I've even taught media in the last couple of years, you know. And I think cross-curricular is absolutely brilliant. The more cross-curricular stuff we can do, the better. The more cross-curricular projects at Key Stage 2. Because Key Stage 2 lends itself to that, when we're not focused on SATs the whole time. But I went to one school where they totally stopped all our teaching, apart from SATs, from about February of year 6 onwards. And I came to a Minecraft workshop, and without sounding crazy, it was like I was a superstar turning up at their school, you know, like someone really famous, obviously, and it's like, wow, we're doing Minecraft for 2 hours with this amazing guy. We're not doing English, no, we're not doing maths, but the school said, make sure you got literacy and numeracy focus in the workshop. Had to be there, and we did some stuff on square numbers and things. But yeah, you need a blended approach, definitely.
I think what you've done is amazing. I really like it. The question, the last one earlier, was girls into computing. There's so much research that says physical computing engages everyone. Everyone loves it because there's no competition. You're all creating something. This works. The idea of all has cost loads of money, then you see this money disappearing out of the system when you already have the answer.
I don't actually know about the award because it's something I don't actually know
The
about.
question is, do you think the government is spending wisely and has the correct information in front of it to make changes when, as specialists, we already know what the answer is?
I'm just a humble physics teacher from a humble school in Birmingham, and I think nationally, I think the picture is
bleak.
It's bleak, and I don't know. I don't necessarily get a head around government policy, but if we can be little beacons of hope and little beacons of sunshine, and I don't mean that in a sort of smushy, wishy-washy way. You know, I've got a girl who's just finished A-levels who's going on to study at university because she came to Pi Club. Not because of her curriculum choices, not her options, because she came to Pi Club. And I know that is for an absolute fact. If I can change 1, 2, 3, 4, we can change these students' perceptions, these students' aspirations. We're going to do it, aren't we? We've got national government policy. You know, I'm still trying to get around the new GCSEs in science.
But it's the money which is leaving the education system and going to these other things which aren't putting any value back into the curriculum.
Just behind you, the question over there.
Thank you. I think you just touched on it in the last part of that answer, but I love the kind of the spilling out into other subjects. I'm particularly warm to that Tin Man heart. But I wondered,
cool.
off the back of that, and given some of the points raised in the talk before, whether you've seen those kind of projects bring in a different cross-section of students, like different students warm to...
Absolutely. My heart is for... I've only ever worked in inner city schools. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't believe there's any such thing as an easy school, okay? So your high-attending grammar school is going to be as difficult as inner city comprehensive. There are different challenges. But I am 100% as inclusive as I possibly can be. And I try to deliberately do projects that will get in different groups of students. So we took part in the Pioneers, Raspberry Pi Foundation Pioneers project recently, which was all about zombies and chasing zombies away or scaring zombies. So we built a zombie attack dog. The boys loved that. And I knew that my girls weren't quite so engaged with that. So they did a different project for them, a different activity. And sometimes it's okay to say that this is my target audience for this project, but I'm going to do another project later which is going to do this target audience. I was doing mums and daughters physics fun 15 years ago at school, making rockets. You know, so this is not a new concept. You know, we were doing dads and sons, mums and daughters. I've had grannies and kids, grandchildren coding things at Easter holidays. You know, targeting the audience, trying to get different groups who are not necessarily represented into school.
Hi, sorry, I was just, what you were saying led on to a train of thought about microbit. So I'm wondering, has microbit had the intended impact, do you think, in schools, and whether it's helped make computing more accessible as
Right.
achieved in schools?
I'm going to be totally honest with my school, okay? We had 300 plus microbits delivered to school. 25 went home to students. Because we opted in to come and collect. We didn't say you can have them, we said you had to come and physically collect them from my classroom at a certain time on these different days. And that one act meant the ones who were just going to chop on the hedge didn't come to get them. So I was then left with all these microbits. I wrote a Harry Potter scheme of work. It's got 6 lessons where the little cassette cards that go around the microbit. That has gone down an absolute treat. Students have really loved that. And the non-specialist teachers have used it in a really productive way. So I think we mustn't let technology be a barrier to the technology we're doing. So I think the microbit is so simplistic in its kind of use, design. We can get kids on board with it really, really quickly. So in my school, where there's been very little impact of computer science, this has made a positive impact on the very little that's there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So although we're not we haven't got 30 students in year 10 doing GCSE and 20 at A-level, we're not there. But we have got students using this year, and the ones who say, when a kid comes to us and says, I want to do a project at home, we've got microbit, how many do you want? It literally is, let me give you 2 or 3. And then they come back to me, oh, I just made this really awesome thing. I'm like, okay, let me take a photo of it. If possible, here's another set of kits, go home and make another one, so I can keep this one to put as an example. You know, it's that kind of daily project music going.
Thank you, Spencer. Let's give Spencer a round.